be like really, really, really small if I personally just become a vegan. Like maybe you can make an argument for me lying about being vegan.
Yes, but it's not that small as you think, because you know you're a public figure. You have hundreds of thousands of followers. You have millions of views. You have
yeah,
like
but whatever.
and you're a pioneer of like
Sure,
Twitch streaming.
but it's not enough
you
to
have,
offset.
Like, a really
it's not
big.
okay. It's not enough to offset like the huge loss that I would endure personally by
What
not
huge
eating.
loss? What are you
Because meat is
talking
fucking
about?
good. There's a lot of good ass fucking food that vegans can't eat, and it's like a measurable loss to not be able to have that.
Yeah, you can still have food that tastes good as like meat.
No, the animal substitutes for meat fucking suck dick. So they're really bad. They're not good.
Well, have you tried Beyond Meat?
Yep, and the Impossible Burger and everything. I sure have.
And the Impossible. Okay.
It's not good. It's nowhere near. It's okay. Like if I just want like a whatever burger, it's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as like an actual like juicy fucking like burger or sirloin or whatever. Or steak
I'm
or whatever.
saying you're kind of contradicting yourself with your earlier.
I'm not contradicting myself at all. It's the same thing with like when we argue about like.
You said people should generally do what they can so people don't get hurt.
Should, okay, hold on now. Okay, this is why I was hesitant to answer that question, okay? So, when I say that people should generally do what they can to make it so people can't hurt, I'm gonna have to amend that statement, okay? I know you're gonna use it against me. Like, when I say generally, what I mean is like within like a reasonable scope. So, for instance, I don't think that people should donate every single dollar they have to save starving children in Africa. I don't think that's reasonable, okay? Or, for instance,
can you repeat that last statement? Sorry, I was talking.
I don't think people should donate every single penny they have to like starving children in Africa, okay? Even though that would generally probably be a good thing. I don't think that's reasonable, right? Because it would be like.
Okay, I agree.
Okay, so like for instance, like I also am in favor of higher tax policy. I'm not going to donate more of my taxes to the federal government just for me, because I don't think it'll accomplish anything on its own. Same thing with like going like vegan. I don't think that going vegan on its own is going to necessarily like do enough to make up for like the large offset of personal losses for me. That's why I'm not going to do it. Like I'll advocate for vegan positions ethically, and I'll say that for like animal agriculture and shit and environmental stuff, we should vote against it. But personally, going vegan represents enough of a measurably bad change in my life that I'm not willing to do it just because I might influence more people to go vegan.
Okay, so you addressed two issues. The first one is practicality. I agree with you that people are not able to like donate like every cent of their dollar to like poor African children. That's just not reasonable and practical to take. Which is why going vegan is cheaper. It's not expensive as like eating meat, so you really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It's better for the environment. It's healthier for you.
Wait, how do you say I have nothing to lose but anything to gain? I like eating meat. Like meals are a big part of my life.
And the second part, you addressed like your favor of raising taxes like policies. So people, but you don't agree like people should directly donate their money to the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the difference is that Americans generally overwhelmingly already support raising taxes on the wealthy. Whereas veganism is still a really fringe movement. You have first to get the policy.
Sure.
Like,
and I pay like
you have to spread the idea first, and you can do that as a public figure. With
and I have. I think I've done that like
with
quite
millions with millions of views.
Right, okay,
like, come on, dude.
I got it. All right, you have anything else for everybody?
Well, let me think. Still don't get what you're disagreeing in. You agreed that people should generally do what's practicable and reasonable. So
Yep, and I would argue that me giving up meat is not a practical, reasonable thing. There is a loss. I like meat.
It's cheaper. It's healthier for you.
It's not. First of all, it's not cheaper. That's not true. Firstly, secondly,
yes, I have data. Well, I have data. You want me to show you?
Okay, even if it was cheaper, I don't care. Okay, I'm almost positive wrong. No, I'm not. I already have my one that I need, but it's not enough for you. But I'm pretty sure the cheaper is wrong. But like, even if cheaper is right, I don't want to give up meat.
It's not. I just offered you to give you data, and you easily backed away. Come on, dude.
Okay.
Like you already agreed earlier that people should do, or you added a second condition that it has to be reasonable and practical. And veganism is cheaper. It's better for the environment and healthier. You have nothing to lose.
Okay. I love you, buddy. Okay, that's all right. You're completely not engaging with the fact that like because you're just like I don't know if you have like a hardcore script prepared for this, but like me not eating meat, like me not eating meat, like you're just like, you don't care about that. Like, and I understand why you personally don't, but like,
Yes, we agree. For example, that people just can't donate money to Africa. It's just not practical or reasonable.
why? No. It's not that it's not practical or reasonable. It's that it represents like a huge personal harm to them, and I don't think it accomplishes enough good to justify the personal harm.
There is no huge personal harm.
There is though. I really like eating meat. That's a huge personal harm to me. Is not eating meat anymore.
What, really?
Yes.
What if I really like making fun of trans and black people and women? Like you can make the same argument against that, for that.
Okay, and if you were living
Exactly.
no, but the difference is that in the society that we have today, right? Like these things are not things that are, these are like hotly contested issues. So like for instance, I might make like the same argument like 500 years ago. Hold on one second. I might make the argument like 500 years ago to be like, if somebody's saying like, oh, well, should I be pro anti-slavery or whatever, and if some guy decides to be anti-slavery, it causes him to get ostracized from his whole family, like everybody hates him, he has no fucking life, he gets fired from his job, blah, 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 blah. Like in those cases, I would make the same argument, right? Where like, if being anti-slavery carries with it like a massive personal cost or whatever, that was so much more than like just taking a more moral position, right? I was like, yeah, sure, this person, it's just like the person earlier that was talking about their job.
Not compared to veganism. You don't like lose your family or like friends over it. You're ostracized in society.
Okay. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's a comparison, right? I'm saying that these two things
Well,
are.
it's a very weak comparison.
Gotcha.
All you said is like, I really like eating vegans.
God, no more vegans, dude. Holy shit. I hate fucking vegans. So fucking cancer. Yeah, go.
Welcome.
Oh, hey, what's up?
No, why? Get him out. Oh, fuck this guy.
Wait, why did you stop talking to me?
Because you're just running through the same fucking talking points over and over and over again.
Yeah, I didn't. You failed to counter any of them.
I did counter it. The whole thing, the whole. No, bring it back in.
You had him in full next time.
Okay, your whole argument is basically that like not eating meat doesn't represent any harm whatsoever. You don't get it personally. You don't give a fuck about eating it. Like that's the whole argument. But I disagree. So like we're
No,
incommensurable.
my argument is that it has no practical or like reasonable harm to people. Your only reason I like it and I demonstrate you that can be used
What?
for like joking against trans people.
No, you're
black
good,
people.
baby. What's up?
I just really like joking about minority people. You know, well, why should I have to sacrifice for that? Like,
Oh, are
and
they?
then you went a whole tangent about like slavery of like it's like people like being ostracized from their friends and family. Like, what the fuck does it have something
What's
to
the
do
new
with what
one?
we're talking about?
That's cool.
Okay, hold on. Just give me a minute. 1 second.
Okay. And meanwhile, I'll post the data about veganism being cheaper if you're still like, you know.
I don't care. It's not something that I really give a fuck about. It was just a minor point you brought up that I thought was.
Okay, so you can see that veganism is cheaper then?
No, I don't. I would have to look at it. But I don't really give a fuck about that right now.
Oh, okay.
This is not part of my argument. Okay, where? Okay. Okay, I'm back now. Okay, where are we at? Tell me, refresh me.
I was talking to you about responsible platforming, and I'm trying to convince you that you can do something to where people wouldn't get harmed through the meat industry. And you agreed that people
No.
should generally do what's
I did
practical and
yesterday.
reasonable so that people generally don't get hurt. And you extend extra responsibilities to public figures because they have a large influence, which you do. You have hundreds and thousands of followers, millions of views, yada yada yada. And I'm just saying, you have a big impact to go vegan, and it's not the same as like, oh well, I support raising taxes. Well, supporting raising taxes is already like an overwhelming like majority support. You
Okay.
need to spread the idea first. before
So
you...
the way that I view this is that if I engage in harmful behavior towards minorities, that I am causing like a direct contribution towards the harm of some people that is like directly, measurably like my responsibility. I don't believe that by engaging in consuming animal products that I'm engaging in some level of harm that if I were to not do it, it would compensate me for the amount of personal sacrifice I'm making to engage in that behavior. So for example, when it comes to the harming of like a minority person, I can say something that can directly lead to harm being caused to those types of people, right? Like if I do it, I make somebody feel bad, or I measurably decrease somebody's fucking life in a way that I think is really bad, and that's something that I don't enjoy doing. Or no,
That's indirectly, not directly. You don't directly like use your personal life.
end what? I didn't say that in life. If I call somebody like a tranny as an insult, I'm directly having like a measurable negative impact on that person.
Oh, okay, so just having an impact at all, not like directly killing them.
Wait, what?
You're just saying that you just make an impact, that's all. You're not making an argument, you're directly like causing them harm.
Okay, I guess it depends on how you define harm, but I mean, I would argue that like calling somebody slurs or whatever is like a form
Okay,
of
you're
harming
not
somebody.
directly causing them to kill.
I'm never. This isn't about killing themselves. Killing themselves isn't the only like kind of harm they can cause them.
Okay, whatever harm.
Okay. So generally, yeah. Okay. Not good. Okay. So I would call somebody a tranny because it's, for me to not call somebody a tranny doesn't represent like a big loss in my personal like life. Like, I can use other insults, but I cannot say those words. And by stopping that, I'm like directly, measurably helping somebody. Like I'm doing something that's not making them feel better or making them feel bad or whatever, right? That this is okay so far. Yes.
Okay, so do you have any data to back that up? That you're directly like
Really? So I need to get you data
Well,
that
that's
calling
like
somebody a
you-
slur. Wait. I need to get data that calling somebody a slur like is a kind of harm. Is that what you're asking me?
Well, I generally agree with you, but like for doing my argument, like I have data to back my stuff up, and I'm wondering if you do.
We're on the philosophical part right now. We're not on the data part. I haven't disagreed with any of your data-driven claims so far, have I?
Okay, so philosophical argument.
Well, I mean, I don't think I've disagreed with any of your data claims, have I?
No.
Okay. So then focusing on
carry
the philosophical part, right? So if I were to change the way that I engage with animal agriculture, I don't believe that I'm making any significant like good contribution to the world. Like I don't think that I'm going to like by me not doing it, there's some meat worker that's going to not have to work his job or something, or that like I'm like making a measurable impact on the environment. Not like in relation to how much I'm sacrificing in order to do it. Given that my method is living animal agriculture. Does that make sense?
Okay, so let me get this straight. Well, let me summarize your argument. See if I'm not misrepresenting it. So you believe there's a difference between joking about minority groups and not eating animal products versus meat products, because you feel like you have an effect of like doing harm to people just by calling them a slur word, and you argue that you can just use other words. Like with meat products, you can eat other food.
No. So animal substitution products right now are not at a level where they are anywhere near a good enough substitution for actual animal products.
On nutritional value?
Not on nutritional value. That's not why we eat food. It's just for nutritional value. But on like enjoyment value.
Okay, well then, what if someone were to say, not joking about minority groups does not give you like the same like comedy value as like being PC. Jordan Peterson argued this, like I make 60K a month. You're causing a demonstrable harm to my income by not joking about the post-modern neo-Marxists and talking about how we state vegetarians are happier.
Yeah, some people make that argument.
Yeah, you think that's a valid argument? Joking against trans people? Or trans people in minority groups?
I mean, yeah, it can be, I think. But
That's a valid argument? Really? You're really gonna make that argument right now?
no. I'm saying I think people can use it as an argument, but then I guess I would counter with that argument with the harm again that you're doing individually to society is like such that like
Yes, the harm that the meat industry does in society is pretty bad.
yeah, but like one person not eating
It
meat.
makes it hard for trans people in Mexico. One person.
Okay, never mind. Okay, just tell me my whole argument is. Holy shit, I can't even finish my point! What the fuck? I understand you're real passionate about fucking eating plants, okay? But like...
Alright, dude, you don't have to
Okay, but like every time I start talking, you like fucking run off into something else. Okay, are you okay?
go. Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine. Okay. So, as a comedian, right? On an individual level,
Yes.
right? You have full control over your comedy show, and you control
Uh-huh.
whether or not you engage in acts that are harmful towards certain groups, right?
Yes.
And if you stop that act, like wholesale, if you stop that act, then that harm stops. Period. All that harm coming from you stops. Period. And that's like
Okay.
arguably like a measurable harm, right?
Sure.
That you're causing to people by engaging in those acts.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You stop consuming animal products. Like, you have arguably little to no impact holistically on the animal agriculture industry. Almost no
Yes,
impact.
if we're talking about one person, he's not just a random private individual. You're a public figure, and you already agreed that we extend like extra responsibility to public figures.
Sure.
You've
So
already
I would argue that
followed-
my responsibility.
I didn't get kicked again. No.
So I argue that like my point of responsibility is that I advocate for like vegan policies in terms of like elected officials like enacting vegan policies, the same way that I would argue for like higher tax votes. Like, and I think people should pay like more in taxes. But like my responsibility ends there. I don't think that I personally need to make a great sacrifice, even as a public figure, to have arguably no measurable impact on the environment or animal life.
Okay, well, there's two ways I can respond to that. The first way I respond is you've already heard it. Raising taxes already has overwhelming majority support in Americans.
Wait, how does that change? What does that mean?
Voted. Because it's different. Whereas veganism is a fringe movement. And first, to get to enact policy, you have to spread the idea first, which you can do as a public figure with hundreds of thousands of followers, million views. That's the first response to that. The second response to that is
Well then I think I do enough to advocate for vegan related stuff by hosting the
Oh, yes.
arguments. So
oh yes, so the second response was you're a public figure. You have the ability to influence a lot of people, and you keep strawmanning me saying, "Oh, one person going vegan is not going to affect anything." Well, yeah, no shit. But like,
oh no, in terms of being influential,
fire a lot of people.
sure, but in terms of being influential, I feel like I've already done that. Like I've hosted like a bunch of vegan arguments, like my ethical vegan arguments. I think would prove most people for being meat eating if they were being honest with themselves. But
Okay, let's see if you're consistent. If you were trying to convince somebody to not joke about a trans black person or a trans woman, like, okay, I already advocate for you to not joke about trans people, black people, women. Why do I have to do it?
again, I don't think it's a fair comparison to look at like me individually engaging in like a harm that I can stop like wholesale on my own coming from me versus.
But you can't stop it wholesale on your own. You're
But it
the
has
only-
zero
you're only stopping
impact
harm.
on the industry as a whole.
When you're talking about like comedians, you only have influence over your audience. Okay, you don't have influence over every single like trans person or black person or women that get harmed only through your audience. You do the same thing with the meat industry. You have an impact through your audience. It's not gonna like stop the whole industry. It's like not joking about minorities.
No, I don't, but it stops me personally from causing that harm from happening, which I think is a bad thing to do. I don't want to personally be in charge of like causing that harm. And if I stop doing something that I consider harmful like that, then I'm no longer causing that harm. I think that's better to not cause that harm.
Yes.
But me not eating
Yes.
meat isn't changing anything overall with like like the level of harm that I'm causing in that entire systemic industry is like almost nothing. Like my individual.
Yes, you are. You're not funding the industry, and you convince other people to not fund the industry, and it'll spread the idea. And
I'm
then
already
maybe you
convincing
get, like,
people to not
finally
fund the
get-
industry though, and I say it via like legislation. It's the only effective way that like it's gonna get done. Otherwise, it's not gonna
Yes,
disappear.
dude, but this is the same logic as saying like, oh, I already convinced trans people. and women to
Except
not
it's
joke
not,
about
because
these
like
things.
making fun of trans people is a different type of thing than just consuming meat. These are like different actions, and they have like different impacts.
And I would say for the meat industry, this argument is a bit stronger because you have a direct impact. You're directly funding that industry, whereas like joking, like it's a bit more like indirect. Like all the meme arguments, like, oh, I didn't tell them. It's just,
That you keep saying kill yourself, like that's the only type of harm you can cause. If somebody doesn't kill yourself,
okay,
you don't cause harm.
I didn't tell that to get harm. I was just joking.
No, I'm saying that like
Directly causing it.
slurring somebody based on them being a minority figure in and of itself is harm. Like that's inherently harmful.
That's not what I was saying. I'm just saying with the meat industry, you have a lot more direct impact since you're funding that industry. You're not like funding like.
Yeah, but my
industry of,
individual
like,
funding is meaningless.
trans being-
You're
What?
you're switching from like the public support